Yo, what is good, YouTube? It is your boy Make America Late back with another NBA 2K22 video, and in today's video we are going to be discussing the top 10 builds in NBA 2K22 Season 4. Now I just want to start this video by saying that I'm not going to be going in depth with each build. I just recently did multiple videos. I did the top 3 guard builds in NBA 2K22, the top 3 wing builds, as well as the top 3 big man builds. So in those videos I went deep into depth. I recreated the builds. I didn't optimize the builds or anything like that, but I did create the builds and showed you and discussed the different ways you can make each build or whatever like that, because for some builds there are like 2 to 3, sometimes even 4 different pie charts you can use to make some of these builds. So yeah, I just want to preface the video with just that knowledge. I'm just going to be putting the builds up on the screen so you guys can see which builds I'm talking about and stuff like that, and then we'll go from there. So the first build, we're giving an honorable mention to the point forward. Very solid build in NBA 2K22. Well-rounded build, can pretty much do it all. You can run the ball, you can play a little bit of defense on it, and you can even shoot the ball depending on how you made your build, as well as finish a little bit at the rack as well too. Especially if you make your guy a little bit shorter, you'll be quicker. With a little bit more vertical, you'll be able to get to the rack easily. The next build is going to be the jack of all trades build. Now this build I plan on making my last and final build in NBA 2K22. I already have 9 builds currently, and you can only hold 10 slots for builds or whatever like that, and I don't plan to delete any of my builds. So I've decided that the jack of all trades is definitely going to be my last build, and it's just a really good build, a fun build. You can get contact dunks, decent dribble animations and stuff like that as well. It's just a very versatile build. Now we're going to be breaking into the top 10. At number 10, I have the inside glass lockdown, just a very solid big man build, a build that you're going to see everywhere in NBA 2K22, whether you're playing rec, pro-am, 2s, 3s, it doesn't really matter. It's just a solid build that everybody's going to be running. Comp, casual, doesn't really matter. Next we have the two-way facilitating finisher, or the facilitating finisher. Either way you make the build, it's pretty much the same build. One just has like a couple of extra defensive badges or whatever like that, but either way, this is a very solid build. This is also another one of those well-rounded builds that you'll be able to do pretty much everything with. You'll be able to shoot the ball, you'll be able to defend the ball, you'll be able to run ball, run point or whatever like that, and you'll be able to finish at the rack. It's pretty much a catfish build, because a lot of people see two-way facilitating finisher and think that, oh, well, he can play defense, he can finish, and he can pass the ball, dribble the ball, whatever. But depending on what pie chart you use, you can actually shoot pretty well with about, I think, 18 or 17 badges, shooting badges or whatever on this build. So it can be a good catfish build, as well as just a good well-rounded build. And then our next build, we have the paint beast / versatile paint beast, either variation of. It's a real solid power forward build that can even run point. You can run big, especially in park, running 2s and 3s and stuff like that. You're not going to really see this build too much on 2s. I mean, unless you make it to where you can shoot, and even then the shooting isn't that great on it, but it's still a really, solid build if you want to run small ball or whatever like that in park or even in the rec. Then our next build is the perimeter lockdown, a very solid build, the build that you're going to be running into when you play pro-am, when you're playing high-level teams that like to run in rec, as well as when you play in the ante-up or stage or whatever like that. That's going to be a comp build that you see a lot of. You can make this build like 3 different ways. You could use the mostly red, some green, mostly green, some red, and then as well as the red and green pie chart to make this build. But most people tend to make it mostly red with some green at the small forward 6-7. And then our next build we have is the slashing playmaker / two-way slashing playmaker, which this is one of my favorite builds in NBA 2K because it's just so versatile. But also you can pretty much make it any way that you there's like 3 or 4 different pie charts that you can use to make the two-way slash and playmaker, and that's the reason why I really like this build. You can make it red, yellow, you can make it uh blue, no, not red, yellow, excuse me. You can make it blue, yellow, you can make it blue, red, you can make it pure yellow, and then I think you can make it uh mostly blue with some red. There's like 4 different variation of the pie charts that you can use to make this build, but no matter which way you put it, it's going to be a very solid build. The next build, my personal favorite build that I have myself, and it's pretty much the only build that I like even playing on now that I made it, and that is the two-way sharpshooter. I feel like this build is just slightly better than the perimeter lockdown just because of what you can do offensively, depending on how good of a dribble you are. With the lower dribble moves or whatever, you can pretty much ISO, and depending on who you're matched up against, I've been able to ISO here and there and wreck against another two-way sharpshooter. So it really depends on the level of competition you're playing. But this is a build that I've ran point with as well. It's just a very versatile build. And you can just do a lot with it. So I just really like this build. You can shoot, you can finish, you can run ball, you know what I'm saying, and play lockdown elite defense with this build. So it is one of my favorite builds, and of course you can stretch the floor with it. Then moving in, we have our next build, which is going to be the glass cleaner build. Now this is a build that everybody just loves. This is just a solid build, and this is just a build that you're gonna see again playing comp, playing anti-up, playing in pro-am and stuff like that. This is gonna be your, glass clean is pretty much your stretch forward now, but except it can play really good defense and rebound way better than a stretch four ever could. You will see some stretch glass cleaners here and there, but for the most part, you're gonna see people running the glass cleaner because just the stats are just better, as far as like defense and stuff like that. Then our next build you're going to be looking at is the two-way playmaker. Now this build is not so much used nowadays, but in season 3 coming into season 4 as well, you've seen this build a lot because it was the only thing to really combat play shots doing the left-right cheese. After they nerfed the left-right cheese, this build, you saw it less and less, but it's still a solid build, especially if you made it the right way. The most popular way to make it is going 50-50 red and yellow, but if you made it with the red and green pie chart, which you can make it with the mostly red, some green pie chart at the point guard position, you can get a two-way playmaker with like a high 3 ball, and it's going to throw people off because most people see two-way playmaker, they think you can't shoot, and they'll sag off of you, and you will be green in shots, and they'll be confused as hell. So this is a really solid build, but also a really good catfish build, if you will. And then our next build is going to be the glass lock, but it's going to be the outside glass lock, the shooting glass lock, which is basically the opposite of the inside glass lock. This is going to be the glass lock that has like around a 72 3 ball with about 17 to 18 shooting badges, which is not bad. You're going to be able to space the floor. You're mostly going to be sitting corner with this build, but this is going to be another one of those comp builds that can rebound and anchor the paint really well, but also space the floor. So you have the best of both worlds. Now you're not going to be able to finish and dunk people and catch contact dunks and contact alley-oops and stuff like that, contested alley-oops and stuff and all of that nature, but you are going to be able to rebound, box out, play lockdown defense in the paint, protect the rim, and more importantly, you're going to be able to space the floor on the other end because they're not going to be able to leave you open with a 73 3 ball and like 18 shooting badges. And then finally, last but not least, the build we all knew was coming, everybody's bread and butter, the number one build in pretty much every NBA 2K game in the past 5 years, and we all know what build that is, and that is the playmaking shot creator. Lo and behold, this is still the best build in NBA 2K22. I don't think there's ever going to be a season where the playmaking shot creator is not the best build in NBA 2K22, just in my opinion. Now, of course, keep in mind that none of these builds are being ranked I'm not, doing any rankings for these builds. These are just the top 10 builds in NBA 2K22 for season 4 in any order. I didn't rank these at all because then I would have to sit there and tell you why this one is better than this one and why I have this one ranked that way. But just know that if you have any of these builds or you're thinking about making any of these builds, you can't go wrong with any of these builds. These builds are all solid, and you're going to be able to catch dubs and, more importantly, level up, get your XP and stuff like that. It's been your boy Make America Lit. Please be sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe for more NBA 2K22 content. I'm out. Peace.